The ancient builders. Everywhere you look in Minecraft, you see evidence of someone who came before you. Abandoned mine shafts stretching for thousands of blocks, with rail systems already in place and chests still holding treasures. Desert temples hidden beneath the sand, with booby traps that still work. Ocean monuments made of materials you can't even mine. Woodland mansions deep in the darkest forests, and strongholds buried beneath the earth, leading to a portal to the end. The ancient builders' theory says these structures were built by a civilization. They understood redstone better than we do. They built complex traps and automated farms. They found the nether first, learned to brew potions, and mastered traveling between dimensions. They were essentially, but something happened in the end, something bad. Look at the end cities. They're beautiful but wrong. They float in the void with no entrances on the bottom floors, and the shulkers look like empty shells, as if something used to live inside them and left. The Ender Dragon guards something, either protecting the world from something trying to get out, or keeping something terrible trapped inside. So where did the builders go? The abandoned mine shafts still have food in the chests. They left in a hurry. The cobwebs everywhere took years to grow, but no one ever came back to clean them. The Illagers moved into the woodland mansions like squatters in the ruins of a dead civilization. And here's the creepiest part. What if the builders didn't leave? What if they're still here? Endermen pick up blocks and move them, just like builders. They teleport, just like builders using ender pearls. What if Endermen are the ancient builders? Corrupted, transformed, trapped in the end for so long they forgot who they were. All that remains is the anger and that terrible scream when you look into their eyes, because for just one moment they see someone who remembers them, and it hurts. The Nether origin. Most players see the Nether as just a hellish dimension filled with fire and brimstone. We go there for blaze rods, we dodge gas, and we leave as fast as possible. But look closer at the landscape. Why is there a ruined portal in the overworld, and its twin waiting for you on the other side? These aren't just random structures. They are scars of a bridge that was never meant to be built. Today, we're peeling back the layers of the Nether's origin to find out who or what actually opened these gates. The evidence is everywhere. The Nether fortresses weren't built by piglins. They don't have the architecture for it. These massive symmetrical bridges and towers suggest the work of the ancient builders. But why would they settle here? Look at the bastions. They're crumbling, filled with gilded blackstone. This suggests a desperate civilization was trying to replicate the wealth of the overworld in a place that only offers death. They weren't explorers. They were refugees. But the Nether changes everything it touches. The soul sand valleys are filled with the literal remains of massive creatures that don't exist anymore. When the builders crossed over, they brought life with them, but the dimension corrupted it. Is it possible that the piglins are just the mutated descendants of those who got left behind? Or perhaps the wither skeletons are the charred remains of the builders themselves, forever guarding the fortresses they once called home? The Nether isn't just a hell dimension. It's a graveyard of a failed expansion. Every time you step through a portal, you aren't just traveling between worlds. You're walking through the wreckage of a cosmic disaster. The Nether origin isn't a beginning. It's the aftermath of an ending. But what do you think? Were the portals a doorway to progress, or a desperate escape that went horribly wrong? Let me know your theories in the comments. The Herobrine myth. It started with a single screenshot on a 4chan thread in 2010. A lone player in a single-player world seeing a figure standing in the fog, eyes glowing white, skin identical to Steve's. No name tag, no movement, just watching. For over a decade, the name Herobrine has been whispered in every corner of the community. Most call it a creepypasta, a well-executed prank from the early days of the internet. But for those who were there, it felt like Minecraft had a soul, and that soul was angry. The most chilling part of the myth is the origin of the character himself. The original post claimed that Herobrine was the deceased brother of Notch, the creator of Minecraft. While Notch has famously debunked this, stating he never even had a brother, the theory stuck. Why? Because it explained the unexplainable. It explained why players would find 2x2 tunnels in the middle of nowhere, or perfect sand pyramids in the ocean. It wasn't a glitch. It was a memorial, a ghost in the machine, building things that shouldn't exist. For years, Mojang leaned into the mystery. In almost every major update log, at the very bottom of the fixes list were 2 words: removed Herobrine. It became a running gag, but it also kept the fear alive. If they had to remove him every single time, did that mean he kept coming back? Even today, with the source code fully analyzed and the canonical seed of the original sighting finally discovered, the myth refuses to die. We want to believe the world is bigger than what we see in the code. Herobrine represents the fear of being watched when you're supposed to be alone. He is the personification of the uncanny valley, something that looks like us but isn't. Whether he's a virus, a ghost, or just a campfire story, Herobrine changed how we look at the fog. He turned a sandbox game into a horror experience without adding a single line of real code. The Soul Sand experiment. Minecraft isn't just a world of blocks. It's a graveyard of failed ambitions. The most chilling example is the Soul Sand experiment. According to this theory, the ancient builders were obsessed with conquering death. They didn't just want to survive. They wanted to resurrect those they had lost. Deep within the nether, they discovered a material that seemed to hold the literal essence of the departed, soul sand. The experiment was simple, yet horrific. They believed that by combining this soul-infused soil with the remains of their ancestors, 3 withered skulls, they could bring back a... But they didn't create a savior. They accidentally engineered the ultimate biological weapon, the Wither. The creature didn't just attack, it infected. It spread a wither sickness that turned a thriving civilization into the charred, hollowed-out wither skeletons we find today. This single failed experiment is the reason for the abandoned strongholds and the desperate flight to the end. They weren't just running from a monster, they were fleeing an apocalypse of their own making. The ancient city portal. Deep beneath the surface, in the heart of the deep dark, lies the ancient city. But these aren't just ruins. They are built around a structure that defies explanation. At the center of every city stands a massive, reinforced frame made of reinforced deep slate, a material that is completely unbreakable in survival mode. The theory suggests that this isn't just a monument, it's a dormant portal. While the Nether portal uses obsidian and the End portal uses End portal frames, this great gate was designed to reach a dimension we haven't even seen yet. Lore enthusiasts believe the ancient builders were trying to escape the Wither or the Warden, creating a gateway to a realm of pure light or safety. But something went horribly wrong. Instead of opening a path to salvation, they accidentally invited the skulk into our world. The gate became a ground zero for a biological infection that consumes sound and life alike. The Warden isn't just a guard, it's the gate's final security system, or perhaps a twisted remnant of the first thing that crawled through. The portal remains silent now, a literal mouth of a cosmic horror, waiting for the right key to wake up. The Piglin Kings. While the overworld has its legends, the Nether is ruled by a brutal history of gold and blood. The Piglin Kings. We see the remains of their empire in the massive bastion remnants, crumbling fortresses that once housed a thriving, militaristic civilization. The theory suggests that the Piglins weren't always scattered scavengers. They were led by a line of Piglin kings who possessed a level of intelligence far beyond the mobs we see today. These kings were obsessed with gold, not just for its beauty, but because they believed it held the power to keep the zombified curse at bay. The tragedy of the Piglin civilization is that their obsession became their downfall. As they mined the Nether to its core, they disturbed the ancient souls trapped within the sand, accelerating the very plague they were trying to escape. Today, when you see a Piglin brute defending a chest of gold, he isn't just guarding loot. He is a mindless soldier still following the final desperate orders of a king who has long since turned to bone. They are a fallen monarchy, clinging to the shiny relics of a golden age that will never return.